All right. We are in the Scotland 9-hole Cup qualifying round. Friday's qualifying round. It's like 9:30. I was going to play, Dunner and I were going to play today, but he had tickets to go see a hockey game. Like, what kind of shit's that? I mean, who watches hockey? Come on. Come on, Kevin. All right, here we go. So let's check out hole number one. Hole number one, I actually went back and watched my video from yesterday, day before yesterday, just to or a couple days ago, I guess now, Wednesday, just to see what I had on the hole. So I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna play some of these holes different today. Like the other day, I laid it up right here and just shot it straight up. This is a no fuss, no muss. If you can hit perfect all the time, this is a great shot. I'm gonna see. It depends on which way the wind's going. So if the wind's going right, I'm gonna demo this shot today. So if you want to see this shot, watch the scouting report that I posted the other day. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Which way the wind is blowing. And we got wind going with us. So let's try the big shot. Let's try it. Let's try it. This is going to be a crazy ass tournament. So we got 4 par 5s and we got 5 par 4s. So if we just take the straight up thing, we should get it. And there's a couple of the par 5s here that are, I'm not going to say they're birdie holes with an eagle opportunity. They're eagle opportunities. There's just not a very good chance for Albie. I mean, in my opinion, there's 2 of those par 5s that there really isn't a chance for Albie. You can get an Albie, yes, but you just want to go get your eagle. So if we had 5 par 4s and we just got birdies, there's 5, and then we got 4 par 5s that we should be getting eagles on. There's 8, so that's 13. So minus 13 being the absolute minimum, but all of the par 4s are extremely makeable. So if we have 13, that means shit, and 18's the minimum. and there's definitely the other 2 par 5s you got shots at it. So this could be a really, really low scoring tournament. Real low. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's take my number 1 bag, or my number 5 bag. I can use the wind, but I think I need to bring out a bigger ball. What do we got here? I don't need that big of a ball. An APOC will work, or excuse me, a Berserker will work with my APOC. We'll try that shot over there on that side. It's always a iffy shot. Just going straight forward, you can really bring out any ball, but if you want to be, I think, with a power 3 ball on this hole, if you get up there in the spot, you're at minimum short iron. You could be, depending on where, if you get, I was right at minimum. If I'd have got just a little bit farther, I could have eked out maybe a topspin wedge shot. So if you were using an end bringer, it would be like maybe 110, 120%. You could eke it out. Actually, might be a little bit more than that. It's better, I think, if you were just with a 3-power ball, if you were eking it out and getting way up into the spot up there, it might be better to use a rapier. Now with this wind, you should be able to get some carry to get over there. And the wind here, now this wind is kind of going good for us, so if it does give us a little bit more of a push, we could end up in it seems like you're going to need to put more curl on it than that. Yeah, you need to put more curl on it than that. We'll see how the wind is going. We'll see which way it's blowing. Yeah, I like that spot. I'm going to be up in here, give myself a little bit more room up front. And I won't need to put, from where I'm at right there, if I had a 3-side spin ball, I probably wouldn't have to put any curl on it at all. But I'm going to put a little bit of curl on it. .35 divided by 1.5. It's 2.8 rings. And I'm going to do a full 3 rings. I'm going to put, like, there's max curl. I'm going to put like half curl on it. And I hit it on the inside. I hit it to the right, 1 ring. And able to eke it through. All right, so if you watched the scouting report the other day, I did the layup shot and just shot it in. And there's the other way to go. I was trying to set those shots up when I do the curl. I'm always thinking, like, there's a lot of times where the perfect shot's actually maybe a great to the left. And I always try and set my shots up. If you watch my channel for a long time, I'm really big on trying to set your shots up so that if you hit a 1 ring great to the left or the right, you're still going to be in a spot. It's when you start getting into the 2 rings that you're in in a little bit of trouble. And sometimes you can give yourself more room on one side. But always trying to not try and pinch yourself up. Give yourself a little bit more room. See if we can get it in the hole. Hitting it perfect. In the hole! Eagle! Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Need to pick up all these par 4s, and there's definitely opportunities on all of the par 4s. All right, hole number 1 in the bag. Hole number 1. All right, hole number 2. My notes say extra mile Titan, 5 1/4 topspin, plus 10 on the drive. Now, I got plus 25 on the sniper shot. I didn't go back. What I didn't do is go back and watch some video for the prior tournaments on this, especially about 2 or 3. Let's see what tournaments were these in. Maybe that Highlands tournament. This hole has been in more than just those. Well, maybe this configuration has only been in those tournaments. Because they changed, they added this area right here in, and they redesigned this hole. So it may have only been, this new design may have only been in these holes, or those tournaments. I'm going to lay it up, try and get up into this area right here. I did 5 topspin yesterday, and I could have, I don't want to get into that shadow and roll off, but I could have used a little bit more distance. I gave myself, from my rough bump down here, I was 3 rings off, and I had a tailwind, so I was able to work the wind off. So let's see which way the wind's blowing today. My notes say that if it's a headwind, that I need to bring a 4 power ball just so that I can give myself room on the second shot, not that I need it on the first shot. The whole idea is not to have to take that rough bump on the second shot with overpower. All right, I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable. I feel good. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm going to bring a Titan, the king of balls. Sniper. Get that chest working. Hey, I got a club card trading I can do. Let's see if we can get a good one today. Those balls that they're selling right now aren't that bad. I wasn't feeling good last week, and I think last week they had 4 4-4s with precision, and I was going to get some, and I was sick all week. I was sick all week, and then my mother-in-law, and then I started feeling better, and then my mother-in-law, I had to take her to the hospital, and I spent a whole day at the hospital, and she's been staying with us ever since. So it's been a week now. I haven't killed her dog yet, so I got that going for me. All right, here we go. I do need to go back before the weekend round, before tomorrow's round, and watch some previous video on this hole and get the number for the second shot, because this is a definite Albie that we want to get. I think I did plus 10 yesterday, and I hit it perfect, and I was way the hell off. drinking some coffee. It's only 9:42 at night. I was going to say, please don't use that albatross ball. Those are awesome balls. I think those might have been the first 5-power topspin boost ball that came out. They're pretty nice balls. I don't think they have good needle speed though, needle control. That was a nice shot. Nice. My opponent will be happy with that. They will not be happy that they brought out a 1-power ball unless they're bouncing it over. They're going to do the bounce, then bounce over the rough. Okay, I got 5 1/4 topspin. There's 4 5 1/4. I'll put on just a little teeny bit of curl just to bring it. What do my notes say? Plus 10 on the drive, so that's 4-9. It's about 2.5 rings, give or take. Who's counting? I'm going to lean just a little bit to the left. Hitting it perfect. It's more like it. Right up. Right up. That'll give me, that should put me about where I can set my rough bump up where I'm 2 rings off. Yesterday, like I said, I was right at 3. And I still may start at 3, but I like having the maneuverability. And I'm going to do plus 25 to the cup. Isn't it great? So you can tell that they did they're adjusting. I mean, I know they're excited, and it's always great when you hit a great and it goes in, but that tells me that we need to go back to the drawing board, because that's 4 miles per hour, so that's 4 rings. Oh, I got plenty of room today. Four rings. Can I move 4 rings without getting involved in the sand? I should have started off at the 5th ring and pulled it to the perfect ring instead of doing back to the center, and then I hit a great. Arrgh. Go in anyways. And I would have been short. Well, you don't know if you're short because you hit it great to the right there. You're deeper off into the rough. So it might have been just right on because I left my ball guide right at it. I would have loved to have hit that perfect. I think that would have been super close on a perfect. Might have been short, but it would have been close. Close. And I had plenty of room right there. I could have went farther to the right and changed my side spin so that I would have gave myself more separation from that sand. That's what I should have done. It wasn't. I thought I had it from where I was at, where I could work the wind out and not involve the sand, but I got the angle wrong. Dang it! Hole number 3. Hole number 3. All right. I'm trying to get over on one, and I'm not doing a max overpower hook. I'm using an APOC. An APOC and a katana. And that's all we need. My notes say APOC katana. I'm going to pull it back to the +6 mark. I'm using 4 top spin, 3 left-hand side spin, and I'm just doing a straight up wind adjustment. And with the way the wind's blowing right there, I might add on maybe 10%. I'd rather, the way that the wind's blowing right there, it pushes me more. So if I hit a great to the left, I gave myself on yesterday, I had plenty of room to the right. I gave myself 2 rings of separation down at the bottom. So I have a lot of room on the right, so I'd rather over pull it. +6 mark. 4 top spin. There's 4 top spin. The +6 mark. Four, 1. I'm going to do 4, 5. That's 3 rings. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. I'm just trying to bleed it up there. See, I got tons of room on the right hand side, so I could set that up like 2.5 rings off of that and give myself a little bit more separation down there and get myself more on trajectory. But it gets narrow with this rough right here. If you're trying to make a run, you're really not going to get a run towards the cup. You might be able to get on the green, and it's one of those situations where you can get on the green, but you have a long putt. And anybody who's watched my channel for a long time knows that I don't like taking long putts. I'm a big fan of taking short putts or chipping it up. And it's easy to do that right there. It's easy to do that. I'm going to go right at it. I'm going to stick a little on the right-hand side of the flagpole. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. I did push it off a little. Well, it came in on the right-hand side of the flagpole, and so it was pretty much where I aimed it. So wind may not have been any kind of a factor right there. It didn't look like it looked like I was close enough that wind wasn't going to be a factor. But I didn't want to hedge my bet too much, because if wind's not a factor and you catch a great to the right, then you'll miss the hole. That'll work, bro. That'll work. In the hole. Woo! All right. Let's see what we got ahead of us for this next par 5. I think this might be the first of the tough par 5s. No. Is this par 5? It is par 5. All right. All right. Let's see which way the wind's blowing before I make a full determination on what I'm going to do here. Okay. If I bring out just a normal 3 power ball. So I was talking yesterday, and when I went back and watched the video. So if you're catching this spot right here, you got to watch out for these trees. And this is one of those areas where sometimes you got to pull it back so you can see how many rings. I like to give myself 2 rings of separation down in this. Here, let me zoom in a little. So if you're down in this area and you're looking where the rough, this transition mark between the fairway and the rough, trying to leave myself 2 rings down here in this pocket and trying to be like in the center. So where your red line's out with 3 power balls right here. So if you leave the wind in, trying to push yourself out into that area. And then with side spin, trying to pull it out so you come out. Now, I was talking about using the topspin boost balls. If you've got upper developed stuff and use a topspin boost ball, what can happen is you may end up getting more run on this side, but you could end up getting up here behind the trees coming in, so that where I was at yesterday, I got my bleed out and I was right here. I was in the perfect spot. I didn't have anything in my way, and I was actually closer to where those trees, like if I'd have gone maybe another 10 yards, the trees would have been in my way. So if you got upper developed stuff and you use a topspin boost ball to help you through there, it'd be nicer if the topspin boost ball had more, if you could eke out a little more than 3 side spin to try and keep yourself in this direction. You got to watch out that you don't overhit it and end up behind those trees. I'm going to take a 3 power, 3 side spin ball. And I think, let me look here, power. I've got some of those 3. I do have some of these right here that have topspin boost and more side spin. Let me try one of those. I got a few of them. Those are 3. What are the stability of there is 3, but I'm not doing any overpower. So 3, 4, 2. I'm going to take the one I got, the open ball. The open ball. I'm going to take my extra mile. Here we roll. Here we roll. Getting out on the course. Playing some golf clash. But of course, hey, we're clashers. And we're just messing around. All right, what am I doing here? I'm doing minus 15 to the cup. 0.85 times whatever the wind is. I was looking at my notes here. I wrote down my numbers for my Grizzly. And I wrote a 1 and it intersected the minus sign so it looked like a plus. I was like, I don't think we're doing a plus here. I'm way the hell downhill. My opponent is also using a top spin boost ball. And here's the deal. I want to get as much side spin as I can. I want to get all of the regular top spin and however much side spin I can. We'll see. See, I think if you get all the way over, you can actually overshoot this. But they got a bigger ball than me, so... Nice. That'll work. That will work, bro. So it should push me forward about that far. It gives me about a ring and a half of separation down there. I'm going to take the wind out and then put the wind back, the forward moving wind back in. So there's 3, 2. I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in. And I'm going to lean just a little. Hitting it perfect. I was running out of time. I was trying to decide how I was going to play that. And damn near ran out of time. Damn near. I like that spot. I'm dead center in the middle. Should give me a nice run up to the cup. I'm using a Grizzly. And the wind's not quite pure tailwind, but it's pretty close. So, I mean, this is all about hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Not in the hole. Let's see if I can get in the hole. All right. 2.3 equals. Where am I? Here's min. Shit, I'm almost at minimum club. I am at minimum club. What is minimum? 1.3 equals divided by 1.3. 1.5 rings. You put on 1 backspin. .5 rings. Oh, not kind of great. Arrgh. Go in anyways. No chance. No chance. Make a good wind. If you make a great wind adjustment and you hit it great, it's not going in. Perfect would have been right there. That's 2 holes that I missed the. I hit great and was on the target. I would have loved to have seen both of those perfect. No guarantee, but they had to have been closer. Hello. Oh, that's 2 of the par 5s. I didn't catch the perfect. And those are the only 2 par 5s that really, in my opinion, it's not that you don't have a shot at Alvy. You always have a shot, but there's a difference between a good shot and a bad shot. These next 2 ones, you really don't have good shots. All right. On this hole, I'm going to use a 5 power, 5 side spin ball. And I'm going, so you can lay it up. I'm not a fan of laying it up over here. This is a better spot unless the wind's blowing this direction. You can lay it up over here, but I like the run out for the ball on this side. It's really nice. I mean, if the wind was blowing this direction, this is probably a better direction just because you got the wind behind you. But as far as terrain goes and how the ball rolls out, I really like this spot. You can try and get on the green on this side, and you can try and get on the green on this side, and I'm going to try to get on the green in 1 on the left-hand side. And I'm using a 5 power, 5 side spin ball. And I'm going to it's a max OP shot, and I'm going to leave myself 4 rings of separation. Wherever I can get out here on the max overpower, I'm going to pull out to the transition between the clear ring and the white ring, and give myself 5 or 4 rings of separation, and then a max curl shot. Max curl. 2.5 top spin, 5 right hand side spin, 4 rings off. 4 rings off. I wrote that 3 times on my notes. 4 rings off. How many rings? 4 rings. Not 3. And if you've gone to 5, you went 1 too far. I'm going to use this ball. Maybe. I should have checked the wind. Like, what way is the wind blowing? If we got headwind, that'll change my notes completely. And we do have slight headwind, so I may have to up that topspin to 3, because that any kind of headwind is going to kill it. Okay, and that is going to be, it's going to be slight headwind from the direction I'm coming. It's still going to be headwind, but it's not going to be full headwind. So I want to put 3 topspin on. Okay, 4 rings of separation out here. 4 rings. It's 1.5 per ring, so that should be 2.5 rings. And that puts me a ring into power. Hitting it perfect. We'll see if upping the topspin a half a bar helped me. No, I'm going to get stuck in the rough. Ooh, didn't make it out. Did make it out. Yesterday I came in and I hit it perfect, and my trajectory was off on the right hand side, and I came in, I hit the thick rough, the deep rough over here by these little trees that are out here. Am I getting my touches hitting the screen? I'm gonna have to turn my touch thing off so you guys can see where my touches are. But those plants that are right there in that, I hit the deep rough instead of the first cut of the rough. And so I left myself 3 rings of separation, so I moved it out a full ring in order to get my trajectory right. This is one of the big reasons why it's so important to film yourself. You can watch your replays, and I will say that the replays are much, much better than they were when the game first came out. And when I've played the shot to the right to try and get over, I've ended up on that trajectory. I've ended up in that sand trap that's in front of them quite a few times. I found it was hard to get to the hole. But that was just me. You might have a better shot at it. Get in the hole. In the hole. Woo! All right, now we got 2 hard par 5s. And 2 more par 4s. On a pure headwind day, that shot's going to be, it'll definitely have to put on more topspin, but even with more topspin, it's still going to be tough. The deal is the more topspin you put on, because you can see right there, I couldn't get on all, if you go back and rewind the video, I couldn't get quite all the 5 on. All the 5 side spin. I could only get 4.5, 4 3/4, somewhere in that neighborhood. I was eking, trying to get as much side spin as I could and stick at the 4 topspin or 3 topspin. But if we were in a pure headwind day where I need to put on like 5 or 6 topspin, I'm probably only going to get maybe 3.5, 3 3/4. So I'm going to have to come in. I'm going to have to come back to the right. Let's go look at that hole. So today the wind was blowing like this, and I was able to get away with it. I moved out from this area 4 rings, but I upped my topspin just because of the 1 ring of overpower I couldn't get back because of the wind. But if the wind was blowing due headwind, then I would have been in that situation. I'd have been probably 2.5, 3 rings into power, into the wind. So that means I'm going to have to put on a bunch more topspin, which means I'm not going to get on all the side spin. So I may have to come back towards this rough area, maybe only 3 rings off instead of 4, because I can't get on all that side spin. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. It made sense to me. And that's all that counts. All right, yesterday, I am just not sure about my first shot here. I've played this hole several different ways, but the last few times we've played it, I've been sticking with this second bounce rough bump, where you're 1 bounce in here and then you bleed out. But you can miss this, and if you miss it, yesterday I went in the drink the first shot, and then I tagged it and was in the perfect spot. And then the first time I just did a straight up adjustment, and the second time I did a plus 20 on the drive. What's Tommy say to do on a drive? Plus 10. Plus 10 might be okay. And I did. The wind was kind of side wind yesterday. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. There are several other ways to get. Oh, we got pure tailwind. Pure tailwind. Pure tailwind. Scary as hell. Because the way that the game's been going, especially if you're hitting, like if the tee box is up here and your first landing area is down here and you're hitting downhill, wind has really been affecting our ball. I've got some practice tokens. I'm going to practice this one time just so I can practice the drive. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that, or do I want to find another way to get out there? Let's do a practice round, and let's check out what our options are for different ways to get out to the tip. That second bounce rough bump, I like it because it bleeds it out, and if you hit it and you hit the rough, you come out in a great spot. But if you miss it, you're screwed. You either overpull it and get caught in the sand, or if the wind's blowing towards the sand and you underpull it and you can get pushed back into the sand. If you miss to the left, you could end up missing the rough and hit the fairway, and then you're in the drink. And so shit can go wrong. Whenever you're doing a second bounce rough bump, shit can go wrong. Okay, I'm going to try... Since are we practicing? Yes, we are practicing. I did hit the right button. Let's try a Titan. Let's try a King of Balls. What does it take to get, like if I just want to eke myself over? And see, you got to leave yourself no room. No room. I like to give myself a little bit of breathing room, and that is not any breathing room. That's 4 topspin. Let's do a 3-7. I'm going to do 4 miles per hour. So there's 3. There's 4. That was a plus 10. And see what kind of bounce out we get with a plus 10 if I just hit it straight forward. And that area will work in there. Plus 20, I would have clipped the rough and just bled out, and that would have made my second shot even worse. The way you can hedge your bets right there is bring out a 4 power ball or even bring out a 5 power ball. So if you do clip the rough and you end up short, you still got what you need on the second shot, because it is a long second shot. So let me make a note here. 4 topspin. 4 topspin. And I didn't bring the right second stuff. I got the wrong bag. I'm going to get aggressive with it since we're practicing. I'm going to do a plus 20 on that, so that would be 5, so that would be 3, 2, and some change. I'll do 3, 2.5. And that was 3, 2. Hitting it perfect. Still an underpull. Still an underpull. Dill pickle from the Chips and Divots. Let's check out our opponent. Sporting some jewelry. Now will be good enough to get an eagle. This is a hole we definitely need to get an eagle on. Let's work on my dunk. I think I'm only like 1 short of getting 100. I used to do dunks all the time. But then I stopped because they changed the dynamics for the dunks, and if you hit the flagpole now, it'll bounce backwards and bounce out of the hole, and they changed the dynamics. So I don't normally aim towards the flagpole anymore. I aim towards the one side or the other. Especially from distance. I've hit a lot of the dunks that I've hit from distance. Used to go out and play one-on-one and with my teammates and just having fun and go out there and try and dunk the par 3s. All right, here we go. Let's switch up bags, though. Let's switch up bags. And I think I have a bag set up for this hole. I do. What did I use on there? I used an APOC. I have an APOC with a Cataclysm. Let's switch that up. Let's switch that Goliath out for a Grizzly. I don't need a Goliath on this course. And we'll stick, and I'm going to switch to a Kingmaker. Just, it gives you a little more options down on the, depending on where you end up down on the second shot. All right, here we go. Cataclysm, 1.7 per ring, and it will definitely be at max. Faux freaking show. If I can get an opponent. I wish they'd make more holes But it seems to me that the new courses that have been coming out, and I know like even these ones that are patterned after PGA holes, you know, they can pattern the hole after PGA, but after the PGA hole, but like how they hit for us, it would be nice if it just seems like they're too easy. Okay, 1.9. 1.1 times 1.9 divided by 1.5. 1.4 rings. Let's try and hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. And the wind, a 10% right there did seem like it was working. So let me make a note, 4 topspin plus 10 if you're going straight forward. Change up my shot a little bit on that. I've been doing, like I said, I've been doing that second bounce rough bump the last couple of times we played this in a tournament, but it's always iffy. It's scary as hell too. There are some times when you're doing a second bounce rough bump, you know, that's the deal, but like, damn, that is scary. Times 3.2. I'm going to do 15. It's 3/6 divided by 1.7. 2.6 rings, 2.16 rings. .16 rings. There's 216 exactly. Oh, fuck, and that was like 2 rings great to the left. That's bad. That's bad. Get out! If that wasn't 2 rings, that was as close as you can get without getting 2. Just need to hit it perfect from this distance. And I'm not even sure if you need to hit it perfect from this distance. It's so damn close, but obviously perfect will go in and maybe not perfect will go in. You get your Cataclysm to level 7, it has damn near as good a ball guide as a freaking sniper. You pretty much don't need to have any club else in your bag other than a Cataclysm. Opponent slightly overshot it. All right. The recovery shot of the round right here. Ain't it perfect? Into hold. I pulled it back. I've been trying to train myself to do that sometimes because I want to see what the motion is to pull it back, pull it down in and get it centered up down at the bottom. And sometimes when the needle's going faster like that, I can't get it settled in the bottom. I can't get it centered in the ring down there fast enough. I wanted to see what it looked like, and so I let it ends up going by 3 or 4 times, and I want to hit it on the second time by. Personal preference. I've been having more luck on the second time by instead of letting it go by more, trying to get it set in. All right, hole number 7. What is hole number 7? I achieved the eagle on hole number 6. All right, now we need the hole number 7. Extra mile. Kingmaker or Titan will work. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Kingmaker over Titan to work. I'm going to use, yesterday I used a Titan, but you got to use a little bit more curl. I'm going to use a Kingmaker so I don't have to use as much curl to try and get a run at the hole. I'm at the +7 mark and I used max topspin. So what I did here was instead of coming, like I'm just going to draw a line. Let's say your red line's here. Let's say your red line's here. Instead of going all the way to your red line and then adjusting your topspin to where you want it, what I did was I put on max topspin, and then pulled it back to where that topspin worked. That way, if I'm on a day where there's headwind, I can move it forward and I can still adjust the wind out instead of having to change my whole damn shot and give myself room and then figure out how much topspin I have. So I should be able to pull it back to the +7 mark with max topspin and then work the wind out. And I'm doing +10 on the drive. Slight curl. Yesterday I did the slight curl, but I think with a 3 side spin ball, I might be able to not have to use the curl at all. Maybe. Extra mile with a Kingmaker. I'm going to use one of my major Kingmakers. Let's use one of those. Maybe that'll increase my odds. Extra mile, max topspin, +7 mark. All right. All the side spin I can get. I don't know that I can get any more than 2 side spin if I'm at max topspin. So I'm not sure that the Kingmaker is going to do me any good other than just cutting the wind down. +10 on the drive. +10. I think I can do that math in my head. Maybe. I'll pull out my trusty dusty calculator anyways. Crown Line. From the Crown Line clan. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So like right there, I'm not really a big fan of having all that topspin available to me, and I think they'll be fine. But if we were on a headwind day, then they're going to have to change their shot. You know, they're eyeballing it anyway. So 3.2 would be like 2 rings and a little, and that was 3 rings. Let's see where they hit, and they hit it 2 rings great to the left. So they should be real close. But they made it through, and that is all that counts. Max top spin and as much side spin as I can get on. +7 mark. 2 rings of separation, and I'm still just a little teeny bit off. So 3.5 divided by 2.1 times, hey, 1.83 rings. And I'm going to lean just a little. Hitting it perfect. Ooh, just a little more leaning and it would have been right on track. Get down to the fringe. Okay. I could probably pull back to the +6. It came through there pretty good. It's easy to overshoot it and end up rolling off and getting in the rough on the other side of the green. I've had that happen on this hole quite a few times, where I've hit good, well, not good, but I've hit perfect and achieved my goal and got over and got on the green and then rolled off the backside. And that's not perfect. Let's run some top spin. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Right there. It's filling up my... I switched to an e-cigarette. If you guys aren't hearing me light cigarettes, because I've switched to a vape. I was just filling it up and I got some fluid all over the fucking place. I bought the tobacco flavored, and it tastes like rolled tobacco. Like if you rolled your own cigarettes, it's a kind of a combination between rolled tobacco and pipe tobacco. And pipe tobacco is not really good to smoke, not unless you like pipes. And if you like pipes, like you're not really inhaling when you smoke a pipe. That it's kind of, it's not super nasty, but it's kind of nasty. So I have a pineapple flavor as well. And I accidentally filled it with the tobacco flavored one, so I was mixing in some of the pineapple and overfilled it. Alright, now I've cleaned up my mess. Let's put the lid on it. Let's see what we have ahead of us for hole number 8. Hole number 8 is another tough par 4. Or excuse me, tough par 5. Hole number 8. Okay, let's go back. See which way the wind's blowing. All right. I think what I did here the other day in the walkthrough was I laid it up right here and then I just went straight forward. But what I'm going to do today, especially because the wind's going in our direction, is I'm going to hammer that ball as far as I can possibly hit it out there. And let's see if, because the other day I was saying if you hit it out into this area out here and just get in the rough, you got a straight up shot with your Nirvana. And actually, I mean, obviously, if you could get out here on the tip, you got a beautiful shot for Albie. And I mean, I'm going to try and end up there. I mean, but I'm not going to get too aggressive because I don't want to end up in that drink. I'm not going to try and get too super aggressive with it. But I'm not going to be upset if I end up out here in the rough, because I think my chance of getting an Albie from right here is actually better than my chances from right here. So I'm going to bring out especially with the way the wind's blowing today. The wind is blowing in our direction. Not much, but a little. I'm going to bring out a Berserker. I suppose I could. Let's see what my options are. Got 0 wind there. 0 wind. I do have some boost. I think that's it. That is it. That's the one that they're selling right now, the Highland ball. Get some topspin boost. I'm going to just bring out a Zerk. I'm going to bring out my extra mile. I may switch to this bag right here. But if I need the extra raw distance, I may switch to this bag. I don't have as much. My APOC doesn't have as much topspin as my extra mile. It does have that extra 3 yards of distance, and that extra 3 yards of raw distance is pretty big. Topspin's huge. I think my number 1 bag will work. It might be a situation where you don't necessarily need all the topspin. You might need the curl if you wanted to try and keep it in the fairway. But I almost want to hit it just out into the rough out there, just so that I can show you guys and gals that it's not a bad shot from out there. And try and remember. I remember when this hole first came out. I think this was one of the courses. When the game first came out, there was a couple courses that didn't have a full 9-hole set. Like the Oasis only had like 4 holes. And then they came out with 5 more holes. And I think this hole right here wasn't one of the original holes. Like the set came out and it wasn't a full 9-hole course. And then they came out with the rest of the holes for it. And I think this was an add-on. Because I remember when this hole came out, obviously lower developed clubs back then and still trying to figure out the game. Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to end up in that fucking sand is where I'm going to end up. I'm going to hit it from right there. Okay, 4-2. It's 2 rings. I'm going to put the forward distance back on. Hit it 1.5. Pretty close to 2 rings, great to the right. Should definitely put me out in the rough. And from over there, I got a straight up shot right at it. The question is, can I get over this little finger of rough here and start off on the green side, or do I have to bounce it over and then try and run it up with topspin? I'm probably going to have to bounce it over and run it up with topspin. Because I ended up a little bit farther to the right. I could have, if I had an APOC, if I used my APOC there, I would have got more curl, so I could have ended up, even with the 2 rings great to the right, I would have ended up more to the left because of the curl. But you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble with an APOC with the curl. It's definitely a shot you want to practice. Because you can over curl the hell out of it, and there's a creek there, and that creek is OB. Out of bounds. Right at max club. All right, 4.5. 2.14 rings. I need to actually get a little bit of faith in my off-roader. I just switched to it, 2.14. Not too long ago, and I haven't sank one of these far off shots. Get in the hole. Didn't pull it enough. I play with my Nirvana for so many years that I know how that club responds, and I know the wind adjustment for it. And rough irons and sand wedges work different than the rest of your clubs. And you got to have a lot of confidence in them. And I haven't built up quite the confidence. Like if I'd have shot that shot and hit it perfect with my Nirvana, I would have been like, that's going in the hole. But I don't have quite that confidence in my off-roader yet. All right. Now, okay, there's another way to go at it. That's the other way to go at it. Hole number 9. What is hole number 9? So, like I said, you can lay it up here. And I was in at least the second cut of the rough. I might have been. I think I did end up in the second cut of the rough, not the third cut. But I had a straight up shot. And where the pin's at, you know, you've got your greens like this, and the pin's back here in the back. So trying to get around to the green where your landing spot is out here, it's wanting to push your ball off to the right. So you're having to pinch it up with that sand and that rough that's right there to try and get any kind of a line on the hole. It's hard to get there from here because the pin is protected by all these traps. And so trying to clear yourself to get out into this area would be optimal, obviously. But if you can't get out into that area, it's not a bad deal just to hit out in the rough and just put it in. And at least you have a shot at it. I mean, I'm not going to say that's the best shot, but I had a look at it that was much better than the other one. All right. See if we can end up in the right spot today. Yesterday, I overcurled. I brought an APOC out here, and I overcurled it. I'm going to bring my extra mile. That was part of my problem yesterday, was I brought an APOC to an extra mile fight. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. You can bring out a bigger ball here, but it still works with a Kingmaker. It still works with a Kingmaker. Let's try one out. Extra mile Kingfisher, and I should be down in like minimum Kingfisher range. So my Kingfisher hits at where are my Kingfisher numbers? 1.1 Kingfisher, 1.1. 1.6, 2.1. I'm doing -10 to the cup. Yeah, I'm going to do -10. Bag number 1 with a Kingmaker. Bag number 1. .8 should be like a ring and a half. Put that forward wind back in. Not much, but a little. And I hit it 7,000 rings great to the right. How that wasn't good, I don't know. I would have liked to get, you can see where the crease is right here, and then it starts to go uphill. I'm a little short of where I'd like to be. You can see right there in front of me where it changes, the slope changes. I would have liked to have been just a little bit farther forward. Part of that is from hitting it so far great to the right. So normally I'm in minimum Kingfisher. I might be in more towards mid right now. I'm doing -10 to the cup, so 0.9 times whatever the wind is. This is one of the reasons right here why I'm not going to be a fan if we go to this. If it's always a thing where people in the community bitch about the play and then they change it, and then it's like, hey, watch out what you wish for. Where like, hey, I don't want to practice against somebody. I just want to be able to go out there and play. And then we're going to be playing tournaments, or we're playing against ourselves. And I kind of like the idea of, I like the ability to. Okay, I'm at mid club. So it's 3.6 divided by 1.6, 2.0. It's two rings straight up. 2 rings straight up. If I was going to hit a great one way or the other and still go in, that's the side, but I really rather would have hit that perfect. I really would have rather hit that perfect. And the angle that I came in there, I was definitely more to the right. The drive being 2 rings off, 3 rings off on the drive, put me so that I was in front of that sand. I like to be more kind of like where my opponent's at right now. And I like to start off on the fairway as opposed to starting off where I was at. You don't have to put on as much backspin. So you can run the ball up. You can let the ball come to a stop and release. Are you trying a dunk? Is that the deal? They must be practicing today. Today must be their practice day. I really would have liked to have gotten that eagle. That'd have been a nice round. That'd have been a nice round. And I missed the 2 Albie shots by not hitting perfect, and I was right there. I would have loved to have seen what those look like. And an Albie would have been a great tiebreaker. In the hole. All right. I'm not sure what that was. Was that a minus 17? Maybe. Opponent disconnected. They must have been practicing today. That's the way to save yourself some practice tokens, is either bring out your second account or practice on the practice. Well, today's the last day, so they must have had a bad round and decided that they didn't want to, they weren't going to qualify. Or they were just practicing, dicking around. Now we got to sit and wait for them forever. I think if I forfeit right here, I still get my birdie, but I'm not going to trust Golf Clash. I forfeited so much. Like when we get to shootouts before, for those of you who haven't played forever, you used to, on these tournament holes, you had to pay for every hole. And that means you had to, somebody was going to win a chest, and you went to shootouts. And so normally I'd forfeit the shootout and move along because I'm shooting video, but I did once, and I saw Tommy do it once too, where we were on a hole and we thought it was a shootout, and we were talking, and you're not really paying attention, and forfeited the hole, and it was actually we were actually playing that par 3. That's not good. That's not good. All right, there you go. There you have it. It would have been the perfect round if I would have got hole number 9. That would have been perfect. And I did hit greats on the first 2 par 5s, and they were right there. Like I said, I would have loved to have seen what those look like, but dropping hole number 9. Damn it. It would have been a perfect round. Perfect. All right, there you have it. There is my qualifying round. I got 1 account in. I may sit down. Do I have time? It's 10:40. I might have enough time to play one of my other rounds while I'm watching TV, but there you have it. Everybody have a great time this week. Good luck, and I will see you tomorrow. I talked to Dunner. We texted each other yesterday when he told me he had a hockey match to go to, and he texted me again this morning. So hopefully we can play tomorrow morning and get our rounds done. And we will see you then. Thanks for watching.